Hello and welcome to the Come Alive podcast. I'm your host, Mehermir Chandani. I'm a mother with a story, a business leader with a vision, and a leadership coach with a mission to transform lives and businesses. I am dedicated to empowering 10x growth in fellow humans by unlocking the transformative power of self-connection. I'm happy to announce a unique collaboration with YPO MENA and Regional called Every Journey Has a Story to Tell. It's a 24-episode podcast series of inspiring YPO members. If you'd like to be on the show, please do reach out to me and I'd love to host you. So today's guest is a true visionary at the intersection of finance, art, and global impact. Roksana Ciurysek Gedir is not only a former senior banking executive and YPO leader, but also an artist, film producer, and advocate for sustainable innovation. From co-producing Nuclear Now with Oliver Stone to leading urban well-being transformation at Therma Group and founding creative platforms like Possible X, Roksana is reshaping how we think about leadership, energy, and purpose. Her journey is a powerful example of how creativity, courage, and consciousness can shape a better world. I'm so grateful for Roksana to join the show today. So, welcome, Roksana, on the show. I'm super excited to start this conversation with you. Thank you for giving me your time today.
Happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
So, your leadership has been multidimensional. You've moved across finance, art, activism, and innovation has been the heart of it all. What is the guiding principle that you use in this beautiful journey?
I think probably the most important principle that's been driving me is really curiosity. So even though it may seem I'm juggling many different worlds, at the end of the day, they're all interconnected. And I guess I see many connections between finance and creativity that I was able to bring into my different roles. Majority of my time for the last 20 years, I've been a financier, but then I was doing other things, my passions. And over time, I realized more and more how much they are feeding each other, even though they might at the beginning seem quite disconnected. Like, how can you be a banker artist? Almost two opposites.
Absolutely. And then, there's always that question, how do you make time for so much? And I know you're a mother of two boys. So how do you prioritize?
Look, it's a constant juggling act. And I guess you make time for things that are important to you. So we know, all of us in everyday life, we have to prioritize. We have to find ways of bringing to the front what's important. And look, sometimes it's a very tough act. But I think what helped me over time is not being a perfectionist. I guess when you're a perfectionist, life can be very hard. So, I'm doing my best at this time, and just not trying to get attached too much to the outcome as well. Helped me to juggle and intervene all these different areas. But yeah, of course, having children, two boys, no matter how many, it's a challenge. And it definitely introduces a new dimension. But once you have no choice, you just get on with it.
So I love what you said about perfectionism and also about curiosity. I feel curiosity is actually the key to moving on in life and figuring more things out and discovering more things out. And it's beautiful. For perfection, I believe there is no perfection, right? Because perfection in your perspective will be different from my perspective. So when we are so fixated on perfection, sometimes we don't get the work done. So I feel it's better done than not done. So for me, I don't see life as perfect, but I see it as full. I see it as progressing. I see it as evolutionary. When you are evolving, growing, taking action, I think that's when you create a perfect life for you. When you look back those 10 years of hard work that you've done. So that's well said. I feel perfection doesn't really exist. It's your perception of how you want life to be.
And totally agreed with you. And perfection just simply does not exist. And we shouldn't be striving for perfection, because very often it actually stops us from growth and from developing. So I believe that the creative process helped me a lot, because as an artist, and by the way, I'm a total believer there is artists in all of us. I actually had the pleasure of co-creating a course at Stanford called Redefining Human Creativity.
Wow.
In the era of AI. And truly, there is even a book that is quite famous, Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain. And literally, you can be taught from drawing a stickman into, within a course of 1 week, into drawing a pretty sophisticated portrait. It's really an art of looking at things. So often many CEOs would say, I'm not an artist, I have zero creativity. Creativity is not just drawing, it's not painting, it's really solving problems, and it's going through different iterations. I've been including in my art a beautiful Japanese philosophy of kintsugi, golden repair. When you break an object, be it a plate, you can either discard it or you can piece it together with gold, and the object becomes more beautiful for having been broken. So you are giving a new life to a broken object. And in a way, we all go through experiences in life, and we have our breakages, and really we have to fill them with gold, and they make us who we are.
I love this.
These are our golden scars. So I've been applying this beautiful, straightforward, yet so powerful philosophy in my everyday life and also in my art.
I love it. We fill the scars with gold. And that's so beautiful because, we have the choice. We have the choice to either fill it with emotions such as resentment, negativity, or we have the choice to fill it with things like gratitude and forgiveness. And that's what is gold in my eyes. So it really, really resonates what you say. And you beautifully said it. It's such a amazing metaphor to life and journeys of fellow humans. That's
Absolutely.
beautiful.
It's really very simple if you think about it, but it shifts how you perceive things. So in one of my sculptures, which is, I wish I had it with me, it's a perfect sphere and it's got a golden fracture in it. It's a 2-meter recycled stainless steel sculpture that I launched with actually Singularity University during COP26. And it was meant to be a metaphor for also the earth. So it's actually, you can see yourself in that sculpture because it's stainless steel. So you can ask questions, who am I? But at the same time, this is our borderless world. The first time we've seen the earth from space, we realized that there's no borders between countries. So how one image can actually shift people's thinking, how art and creativity can do this. And it's a bit fractured. Yes, we know it. It is a bit fractured. But rather than complaining and filling ourselves with negativity, as you're saying, you can think, look, yes, it's broken, it's imperfect, but there is hope. Let's fill these cracks with gold. And it's not only the earth, it's also a cell. So it's us on cellular level going through experiences in life. So it's just very multidimensional and helps me to think and approach challenges in life.
It's beautiful. And what initiated this thought in your mind and this whole thought of filling it with gold? If you can share a little bit about that.
I think it's really a journey. All of us, or some of us, go through a midlife crisis. I call it always /opportunity. But it's a natural progression. After you've worked many years in your professional career, you reach the point, I think all of us, and I reached that point, where I was thinking, is this it? What's next? It wasn't about pursuing the next title or the next role. It really was the question, who am I? And what sort of impact I would love to have in the world. And, when I even look at my art, it started off with, so as a child, I used to paint and draw. And then I moved into photography. Then I started adding layers of complexity. I started printing on brushed aluminum. And then I started adding crystals. Then from crystals, I started adding diamonds. Why add crystals if you can add diamonds? And then started adding also technology aspect. So I was doing pieces that were had camera, that were reading human emotions and reacting with different color of the light or diamond. I was working with a neuroscientist who is also a DJ. So you as an audience, you become co-creator of my art. We are all co-creating it. And with these layers of complexity, I realized it is also kind of, there was a point when I wanted to simplify everything. And that's when I went into the sculpture, such a powerful, simple concept. So really it's been a journey, is the result of the journey, and my art beautifully, I think, reflects that journey for me. And often I understand things only by connecting the dots. The speech, Steve Jobs' speech about connecting the dots. It's sometimes we don't know exactly why we are doing it, but over time we realize, okay, that's why I was doing it and pursuing. We understand so much more by reflecting very often.
Absolutely. So as you mentioned that all of our journeys go through challenges, and there is a point in life that you feel, what else? What's next? So what happened in that, I want to say that time of your life? Would you be able to share a lesson or maybe a struggle that you went through that taught you to self-reflect and helped you become a better version of yourself?
I feel that over time, because I was leading quite a few different, what I think maybe were separate lives. So as a financier, I was able to finance my passions like art, movies, and other passions. So I never wanted my passion to become my job, because I felt it's going to lose its shine. So I guess over time I became much braver with kind of expressing it and putting time and intention into it. And I believe that even within finance, I spent 20 years in finance, but I call them mini retirement. So be it changing completely disciplines. So I've moved from investment banking into private banking. Then I moved into when I was working with the Rothschild family, I was creating private merchant banking. And I realized that for me, it's the most exciting part was the intersection of different industries. And it was about connecting and creating. So actually that process. And there were many, when I was younger, I remember, there was a project that had a major setback. And at the beginning, I took it very personally and I viewed it as a failure. But over time, I realized it's actually an opportunity to grow, and it was nothing. But at that time, when you are in this moment, it feels like the end of the world. So even if someone told me, look, it's nothing, it's how you perceive things. But I guess when you go through so many different, let's call them iterations, and you realize they are all taking you to different paths that maybe at this time They're not making sense yet, but you see it. And for sure, extreme experiences in life. I mean, I went through a divorce 2 years ago. It definitely makes you reflect and take a step back. For some people, it could be health related, and
Yes.
so
it's like near-death experiences, they say, like kind of, it's like a big challenge that you didn't expect it to happen.
yes,
That really reshapes you, makes you rethink.
totally. But I think if you have this mindset of, you know, why it had to happen to me, and really think, okay, that is somehow, you know, you have to trust and look at this also as an opportunity to really grow into a different dimension, also grow your resilience. And that definitely there were many learnings in this. And even though it felt very hard why it was happening. So I guess the key is really not to lose hope and be surrounded by supportive people. It really helps. We know community is huge for also longevity. You know, you can do all the wearables and use all the biohacking, but we know what's really powerful is the community that we have. It could be family, and look, family could be amazing, or could actually, you know, annoy us a lot of the time. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's often they are doing their best, what they know or they can. But having a supportive environment around you, friends you can share with authentically, really be vulnerable. I think it's really one of the key to longevity.
And you are a part of YPO. How would you say YPO has helped you become the leader you are today?
So the philosophy of Kintsugi, I mentioned already, is such a powerful philosophy. And the golden heart called aurea meaning gold, that I've created, is really signifying the cracks. And it's not a broken heart, it's actually a healed heart. So
it's beautiful.
It really
it
signifies us going through that experiences and really feeling often broken. The way of filling these cracks with gold is just, to me, signifies so beautifully our life and the philosophy that's guiding me as well.
That's amazing. And thank you for sharing this, and thank you for getting this here. It's just wonderful. And I love how metaphorically it relates to all of our lives. You know, the challenges that we face. And Rumi said it, right? You need your heart to break for the light to enter.
Absolutely.
And it's so important, I feel. If you're not broken, I don't think you transform. So
you just brought the Rumi quote. This is the guiding quote for this art piece, exactly.
Oh, wow.
Which is that the crack is where the life enters you. So
I believe and I agree with it. It's happened to me in life. I have gone through very challenging times. I have gone through life where I didn't love myself. I didn't feel that love existed in my life, and it was only that I was missing the love for myself. I was not validating myself, and that's what kept me broken for so long. And every area of my life was suffering, from health to career to relationships, just because I didn't acknowledge and love myself for who I was. So I've gone through this pain and learned it all the hard way. So I do agree that you need to break for the light to enter. So I would never be the person I am today if I didn't go through that challenge in my universe, in my head, that I went through. So it's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. It's very profound.
And really, our golden scars make us who we are.
Yes.
As you said, you wouldn't be where you are now.
Yes.
And self-love is very important and often forgotten, because we know also that you cannot give love to others if you do not love yourself, if you don't have that love. And we often forget because we get carried away with life and career and solving problems, but actually often we neglect that part. And really, self-love, some people associate wrongly with being selfish.
Yes.
And absolutely, this is not selfishness. It's the opposite. And, we know also that in the case of emergency, we are getting, we need to give first, we need to have
the mask
the
on
mask,
ourselves.
oxygen first, and rather than, and before you can help others.
So what's
I
the role
guess-
of self-love in your life?
So, look, it's a very important part of nourishing that and creating space for myself. And it's a everyday work. You have to remind yourself every day, and often we get carried away again with what we are with life, and it's truly a reminder every single day. To me, for example, meditation practice is my self-love practice. I actually, in my exploration, I also became a meditation teacher.
Oh, wow.
Not that I teach yet, but it's definitely allowed me to deepen the knowledge. And again, it's meditation is often misunderstood, and we think, oh, I cannot meditate, I cannot, sit and empty my mind and head. But the idea is, it's not about emptying it's observing your thoughts. And even having the practice of 2 minutes. Everyone has 2 minutes in their life.
Yes.
And so what I found the best is to have a certain ritual. I'm dropping off my son first thing in the morning. So I know that already I can't really do it before unless I wake up crazy time. Not always. I prioritize sleep for sure. But then I create that time. Always it becomes then something non-negotiable. So I think introducing whatever it is for you. For someone is exercise. To me, exercise is also very important. And again, I can give so much more if I feel aligned and if I feel healthy, if I moved my body. And again, doesn't have to be some crazy 1.5 hour session. It could be connecting with nature. It could be walk.
Yes.
And even though I live in Dubai, I walk almost every day. And to me, I discovered it recently. I would go to the beach, Kite Beach, and just grounding and being in the water and walking is already sets me for the day. It's really beautiful. But of course, you could have thousands of excuses why you have no time for this. But
no, I believe the same. Prioritizing yourself, your mental well-being,
Yes.
your health is super important because it really sets you up for every other area in life. And you feel so fulfilled at the end of the day. And that's what you want. Because for me, also self-love is meditation. And I actually transformed when I started to meditate.
Wow.
When I started to connect with myself. That's when
Yes.
I figured that the missing piece of puzzle in my life is self-love. And so it was all because of meditation. And I think it's still people don't give enough importance to how meditation should be a way of life. And I totally agree with what you said. Meditation, exercise, reflection, a little bit of journaling, all this inward work for yourself is super important to make you successful in the outer journey.
Yeah. And again, there's just such an obsession now about longevity and well-being. And obviously, it is hugely important to me as well, well-being, the way we feel. But we know these are actually, it goes back to the simple truths, which is, get enough sleep, proper sleep, deep sleep. About nutrition, what you eat, and movement and connection. So, and of course, if you have no underlying health issues, but it's so important. And what I'm excited about with the company Therme Group that is occupying most of my time professionally is so aligned with my passions because we are bringing well-being for everyone. And maybe you heard in Dubai, we announced a project in January with Sheikh Hamdan. It's going to be, we are building the biggest well-being resort in the world.
Yes.
And it's what's missing in many of the smaller and let's say well-being centers. They're tailored towards only the ultra high net worth group, and also often you are in a solitary space there, and we are bringing in the connection around going back to the Roman baths, around the bathing culture. And so super exciting to be working on this. And we also bring in art and culture and health tech as well, the latest in health technology into the facilities. So
that's beautiful. So it's due to launch?
It's going to be built within the next 4 years.
Okay, beautiful.
So we just announced it.
So that's what is the newest project for Therma Group?
Absolutely. We have other...
Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Around the world, we are in different locations, in Manchester, in Toronto, in Washington, in so many different centers. Obviously, I'm the most excited about Dubai because it's a home for me now. So, and I love that Dubai is such a, on UAE, is such a amazing energy, and everything is possible. The fact that the city was built in the desert, and truly Dubai has captured my heart. And until 4 years ago, I've never been to Dubai ever. I never even wanted to go to Dubai. I had a completely different image, through media, I guess. And when I came here, I really felt the energy. I felt this energy of possibility, but also just my sons told me this is paradise for children. I said, kind of paradise for adults too.
Exactly, so. I agree. I love Dubai as well, and UAE, of course. I think it has given so many possibilities to people that they had never imagined, and including us. Super grateful to be here in this country.
Absolutely.
So tell me a little about the community work that you do, and also that you're part of a very active leader in YPO. How has YPO helped shape your journey?
I would say my intention is to become more active, for sure, as juggling life maybe didn't allow me to put enough time yet, but I definitely believe that YPO is a like-minded community of people who are on similar journeys often. So I think it's very powerful to be able to connect with people who understand what it means to be, let's say, lonely as a CEO. Often we cannot share these journeys or our vulnerability with others. So being able, especially in the forum format, that is, I think, amazingly powerful, to be able to share with like-minded people is really the key to our well-being as well. So, we don't have to explain often because we are going through similar journeys. So absolutely, I think YPO, I haven't had the chance yet to be part of the different modules on educational modules, but that's something I'm very much looking forward to contributing and also taking part.
Thank you for that. You've been an advocate for nuclear energy and co-produced the movie with Oliver Stone. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So when I was leaving my corporate world 6-7 years ago, I was stepping down from the board of the biggest Polish bank, and I wasn't burnt out, but I think I was getting there with intensity of travel, and I was between Poland and London. My family was in London, and I was pretty much commuting every week. It was full on. I would say it was an amazing experience, but it really was very intense. When I decided to step down, I knew it's marking my departure from the typical corporate world, being kind of an employee, I would say. And I've always been fascinated about the portfolio life. So I knew I didn't have very clear vision yet what's my portfolio going to look like, but I knew that I would love to create space for all these different passions that I had. And my guiding principle has always been on top of integrity, but also what was interesting to me is sustainability. And this word has been overused, but how we live our life. In my family, we were very much aware from early childhood about how we should be respectful for the nature, for the planet. And even in corporate world, in finance, I was looking how to bring it more sustainable investing before it was called that. And it really is often a common sense, because if you have two investments and one is creating positive impact on your children or on your community on the earth, and another one which is actually destroying, and why wouldn't you go? Of course, we are all going to go for the one that's contributing positively. But I've been wondering, as a person who's got 20 years of experience in finance, where can I bring my experience but actually create impact? Because I was searching for my purpose in life. And how can I bring intersection of all these different passions and areas I'm involved in? And originally, I joined an advisory board for a company that was looking to become more sustainable. It was an asset manager. But I realized that's not really still the impact that it was more like being in finance still, but with a layer of ESG. So by chance, actually, when I was speaking to Oliver Stone, who I knew from one of his producers, and we were discussing projects he's working on, he mentioned many of his big Hollywood movies he was working on, but mentioned nuclear. And I kind of paused on this and I said, what do you mean? Like, what exactly? And then through, I've explored further. I read the book called Bright Future by Joshua Goldstein and Stefan Kvist, that the movie was inspired by and based on. And really, in a very simple way, very digestible, explains the science and explains all the misconceptions that we had. And when I also saw the huge passion that Oliver had to tell this story, to leave the legacy, I was totally in. I was like, okay, I'm going to raise the money. So I became an executive producer and I'm going to make it happen. And at that time, truly speaking, on nuclear has not been the most popular thing. So people were quite often disapproving. Now it's a different, nuclear has changed its perception. I want to think partly through the movie, partly through the increase in we need more and more energy. And we really need to produce more green energy. And nuclear is the only, as of today, available at scale green energy. And once I realized that, and all the misconceptions that I had myself, I've joined as a part of this movie. We are working on a sequel, so watch
Amazing.
This space. It's going to be focused on advanced technologies. And through this, I really got involved in the advocacy. I made many different talks, brought thought leaders. I'm working with the World Economic Forum also on, even though 4 years ago they didn't want to show the movie, now it's very much, there is big interest in this. So again, how through fusing different interests, but also areas that we are passionate about, so storytelling with science, and how you can shift people's mindsets through creativity, through art, or through storytelling. So I realized it's the same for me. It's fusing an intersection, and this is how you can create transformation. That's what really interests me.
That's amazing and beautiful. And of course, your curiosity keeps you on top of all of this, I feel. That's how you can be able to do so many things. So you've been always taking very courageous steps in your journey and been at the forefront of male dominant roles as well. What would you tell fellow humans, maybe the next generation of leaders, how to live fully?
Have no fear, listen to your internal voice, to your intuition, And there will be challenges. This is part of it. If you don't fail, don't think this is failure. This is opportunity to grow, and it will take you maybe in a completely different direction that's going to allow you to have bigger impact. And really, again, that's something we have to go through ourselves. I realized it, but when I was younger, I had this deep conviction, like my intuition, even though the society, even the family was maybe not approving of, but somehow I pursued this. I knew this is important, and I think over time this voice, this intuition became so much more important. And just do it. Sit down at the table and really believe in yourself and in the voice. And it's not perfect, and it won't be perfect, but the world is facing so many challenges, and we need really diversity of experiences and perspectives. So actually everyone is important. What you are bringing, I think, having this internal voice that probably most of us go to imposter syndrome,
yes.
Forget it, just do it, go for it. I think that is, and again, this is from someone who also had this imposter syndrome. But I managed to quiet it down and just not have no fear and give it a go. I said, what's the worst that can happen? I'll try again.
That's beautiful. I love it that you said these lessons that have no fear. Give it a go. And intuition plays a big role in life. I don't know if a lot of people listen to their intuition and their gut feeling, as we call it, but I feel that does play a huge role. But these are amazing lessons, and what is the worst that can happen? Actually, you should have the faith and the courage and the trust in yourself to be able to rebuild something without feeling the emotion of regret. And I love what you said initially also, that sometimes we need to do things without being attached to the outcome.
Yeah.
It's so important to do that, I think, and that's a great learning for the next generation as well, that if we can do the best we can without the attachment of the outcome, I think the journey becomes more joyful. This is what I have realized in my life.
And spot on, joy, it's just so important. Joy, fun. We need to have fun. And fun is really, I believe, often underrated. And we kind of feel sometimes, I have to be this serious, I'm saving the world. At the end of the day, if it doesn't bring us joy, there's no point. So let's not forget that. Let's not forget this feeling of joy, because you can do amazing things together with great people. And you know what? Not being attached to outcome, and also not being afraid of judgment and not judging yourself, because all we can do is our best at this moment.
Absolutely. So what makes you fully alive, since we're on the subject of joy?
To me, it is this really being in my flow. And I'm in my flow. I got to realize when I'm at the intersection of all the different things I explained to you. So if I can do things with purpose to me, if they're having impact, if they are doing things with the people I enjoy hanging out with. Actually, it's very important. You need to have that joy, and then the sky is the limit. So to me, that once you have this feeling and you are doing things in your flow, magic happens.
I agree. Totally agree. Magic, you will find magic if you believe in it, and if you live joyfully, alive and fully. So true. So you founded the Impact Art Movement and Possible X. How has creativity helped you, again, shape who you are today?
Creativity is the key to being open and being vulnerable, because you operate within the uncertainty. So you have to, when you're creating a piece, it's a process. It's the actual process. I got to realize over time that this process is the same process we apply to problem solving on the board of the biggest Polish bank. I actually was applying that creative process. And in a way, I even was fascinated to introduce a role of an artist in residence. I think each bank, each institution should have, whatever we call it, chief creative officer, bringing that a perspective and kind of that is joyful and playful as well. You really can solve huge challenges, and you can look at things in a very different way that will actually are able to also add to your bottom line. Because often we are trained in the same way, MBA from this university, and you end up repeating certain pattern, and it's hard to get outside of this pattern. But we know to get out of this box, it is through creative process, through tapping into your inner child again, being a bit silly sometimes, and obviously, in the design school, they've realized that too. It's actually part of the business curriculum. So obviously, it's proven, it's science, but we do tend to forget this. So reminding ourselves daily to tap into that joy.
That's amazing, and that's so important, because at the end of the day, we do all of this for what? Like, of course, we need the joy in life, but we forget sometimes. And I think each of us does live with some kind of imposter syndrome, where we just feel, no, we're not good enough at some point. And we keep going on and on and on and on, and until I'm like, do I really deserve this? Do I really deserve this? The question is always there in the head. But it's so important to connect with yourself and understand that you deserve everything that is part of your journey, and you deserve to be happy, and you deserve to enjoy life, live fully, love yourself, really be who you're meant to be in this journey, and evolve yourself rather than just chase money, fame, and whatever else we think is success for us. So I love how you have spoken about curiosity and how you have intersect so many different, I want to say, various skills and passions into being who you are meant to be, and probably live this beautiful life where you feel full and complete. What is the impact that you want to leave in the world?
It's such a big question, and obviously that's been part of my journey, trying to really understand where my impact is going to be. And truly, sometimes I think just impacting one person who will start meditating, for example, and that will become part of their transformation, is already amazing. Obviously, also, I'm hoping to have positive impact on my children. Sometimes I lose hope, but at the end of the day, there is obviously, they have to go through their journeys. They are the souls on their journeys. But I really am hoping that I would leave certain values that they actually got instilled through not what I say, but what I do, because it's what we do. It's not what we say, even to children or others. So leading authentically with example, that is every day my challenge, my working on myself. But really, I would love to leave the impact of being able to contribute to people to become more joyful and more understanding, more self-love, by the fact, like you shared, you went through your journey that you very clearly didn't have that self-love. So, by talking about it, you are really enabling others to pay attention to this and maybe start their journeys.
Absolutely, yes. I feel if anyone can live a little better with me sharing my journey, my story, that would be a successful life for me.
And I want everyone to be an artist and tap into the creativity, have more fun in life. Also, through nuclear advocacy, I would love all countries to really, that's really is one of the solutions that we unfortunately have overlooked through politics and so on. So that would be some impact that hopefully I can contribute through telling the story, and art, and really moving people through art.
That's beautiful. Wishing you more power, more luck and more happiness and more joy in life. Thank you so much for your time, Roksana.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for watching this episode of the Come Alive podcast. If you've enjoyed the show, please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell on whichever platform you're hearing it. Would love to hear your thoughts and comments. And until next time, see you soon.